Listen, I'm going to defend P. Diddy here. Gonna make them take off for Los Angeles. I was so drunk at the game, the Colt fans walking. I was like, Peyton Manning. His dad was a cuck.
This is the draft day Browns fans were waiting for.
I need you to make a splash, Sonny. If you can't do it, then I have to do it.
Just to be clear here, you're threatening to fire me, right?
You see things other people don't see.
Rewind that back to the start of the play.
That's one of the things I love about you. All that matters is what you think. Write your own story, Sonny.
I want this team's future back.
224 young men are about to become players in the National Football League.
Sonny, that's our future.
You sold a cow for magic beans.
How does the entire world already know about this, Mom?
Because I just tweeted it.
You're on Twitter?
You're not.
I love having the #1 pick.
You're not gonna believe what's happening.
You make this deal right now. Say it with me.
An absolute stunner.
Okay, screw it. No more offers.
Okay, ask me what I'm making.
What are you making?
Absinthe cocktail.
But why?
Because in draft day there's fires.
I still don't understand.
These people, multiple times, people set things on fire. It's 3 times in the script.
You read the script to draft day?
I did. Sugar cube on your special spoon. And then down here, not so much.
And the glass shattered.
Yeah, so when I was in grad school, I was doing this. I thought I'd let the fire go for a while, and the glass just shattered, and it just dumped burning blue liquid all over the place.
The sugar's on fire.
I was at a party where this guy was doing, it was in an apartment, this guy was doing flaming shots of Everclear.
Oh, God.
And he didn't blow it out. And so he started shaking it, and little napalm fireballs go everywhere, and then set this girl's carpet on fire.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do if the, see, it turns milky?
The green fairy.
Clear liquid plus clear liquid gives you milky liquid. And there's an absinthe cocktail. We're vaxxed and waxed and credit card maxed, wearing slacks.
Only one of those things is true.
Doing smack.
Guess which one?
If your glass shatters, and so I'm staring at blue flame, like, what do I do? And I thought, what if I just blow really hard, really fast? Will it put it out, or will it be a flamethrower? Blew it out. This is an old-timey dictionary of dirty words.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh,
Then what do you do?
So the idea is you get some dirty, vulgar 17th century word.
Okay.
And then you try to work it in at some point.
What a fun
If you can work
game.
it in without us noticing, you win.
Got
also,
it.
I have, by the way, Super Bowl ring.
Oh, nice.
It's real. It's totally real.
It's a real, completely real cheap Super Bowl ring.
Did you buy it?
My dad gave it to me. The best line of the whole
pick
movie.
your word, my friend.
The Browns brought me to Cleveland so that everybody could get one of these.
How is it that the ultimate prize in the most macho sport ever invented is a piece of jewelry?
I want to have a job where I could just go into my boss's office and set things on fire.
I'm coming.
That's the lesson of this movie, I think. Right?
I think so.
Oh, my God.
Knock on glass if you're with me.
Yeah. Boof! They don't seem to like it. Let's pound the ball right up their ass. Knock on wood if you're with me, man. All right?
And his ability to suck in these balls.
So did you like draft day?
Draft day, more like daft day.
You don't like
When
it?
I told you I wanted to talk about draft day, and you're like, oh, I love that movie.
I do love that movie.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
I love it. It is amazing. Number one, it got 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, so D's get degrees. Is that what we're saying?
They do, and it beat Any
I know
Given
from
Sunday.
experience.
Not yet, but I have D's.
Okay.
I actually worked with a guy who's a doctor now, going to med school, and he said, you'll believe there's a lot of doctors that graduate med school with C's and D's.
Isn't it a George Carlin joke? Somewhere in the world is the world's worst doctor, and he has an appointment tomorrow.
But it's also NFL propaganda.
It is NFL propaganda.
Because they're very careful what they put their name on.
Which is bull, because they don't have to get any permission from the NFL to use NFL logos and stuff. Playmakers
I was
on
just
ESPN,
going to mention that.
And they were like, we're going to do real, like, drugs and steroids and hookers and whatever, and so they made up fake teams.
Well, the NFL still got them to stop it because it was on ESPN.
It was on ESPN, and they pressured ESPN.
Yeah, because like Omar Gooding was this running back who also like did crack before the games.
It's Canadian aspirin with a little bit of codeine in it, just enough to give you that pop.
But
That's
then
something I remember about that.
the show Ballers was like, no, we're gonna do whatever we want. We're gonna use real NFL logos and stuff. It is not trademark infringement to do that. You can do that. We can make a movie about the Chiefs. We don't need any permission. We can make the Chiefs all doing cocaine. I don't know.
Little 8% codeine never hurt anybody.
Like this Chiefs or past Chiefs or future Chiefs.
Future Chiefs. They're all on the adrenochrome. But anyway, so there's a lot of stuff the NFL, because they wanted NFL permission, because they filmed at the real draft. Goodell's in it. I think they filmed in the... And so there's a lot of stuff they don't want to do to piss them off.
It's a pretty PG movie.
It is PG-13.
Is it? It's PG-13?
You are allowed one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. There's a limitation. It has to be a figurative fuck and not a literal fuck. So you could say, fuck you, asshole, whatever. But you can't say, I will fuck you in the asshole. Not allowed. So they had one F-bomb. Do you remember what it was?
I don't.
I don't either.
You pancake eating motherfucker. That was their one F-bomb.
That's a good, I like that. Yeah. If you're going to choose one F-bomb, I think that's a good
pancakes.
one.
Pairs well with pancakes. Drinking game ideas. Number one, how many phone calls do you think were in the movie? I counted. I'm sure I forgot to count some of them, but I do have a count.
16.
It'd be 22.
I had 17 down.
He call you or you call him?
So if it's a drinking game, there's 17 drinks.
Oh, God.
Well, what's a good number for a drinking game?
I guess it depends on what you're drinking.
Yeah, it depends. True. If you're doing shots, then.
Yeah. If it's beer, then.
Yeah, it's a drink your beer. I feel like it's probably a good drink every 2 or 3 minutes.
Is this like a trivia question?
No. This is just if you're making a movie drinking game, how frequently should that happen? If it's every 4 seconds, it's annoying. If it's once every 20 minutes, you forget.
Kevin Costner puts his hands on his hips, like all tired.
You do that a lot. I didn't notice. Every time he looks like a 60-year-old man drink. That's all I'm drinking. There's also the weird split screen walkthrough thing. You know,
I like that.
It's fine, I guess, but that could be a drink. Although that coincides with the phone calls.
It does make the phone calls more interesting.
If you're gonna make a movie with nothing but people on the phone, I guess.
Yeah.
You gotta do something.
They should take a drink every time they pretend to take Jennifer Garner's character seriously.
There's a good one.
Can I get you gentlemen some coffee?
Love some.
Light and sweet, honey. Thanks.
Yeah. So a key difference in this, she's the cap guru, right?
She's
a
financial
lady.
Yeah, but she feels just like his assistant weirdly, even though at some point she's like, I'm not your assistant. But then she's like, can I get coffee?
She'll clean up the
in
trash
the
office.
script, she is just his assistant. No cap gurus.
Well, they had to get the ladies to watch it. They have to give something for the ladies.
So
I was still mad about it.
I think that's a positive rewrite of he's not just banging his assistant. It's
she's
like,
smart
she's
too.
the cap guru. In the script she is like basically the same character. Like they don't really change anything other than once in a while it's like, will this screw up the cap?
Is this gonna screw us up with the salary cap?
Moving from 7 to 1? It's about another $1.5 million we weren't anticipating for this year, maybe an extra $5.5 million in signing bonus.
We have that?
And it's like, wait. Kevin Costner, the GM, doesn't know if they have $2 million in cap space.
She did not crunch any numbers the entire movie.
She doesn't. But there's a couple of lines where she does a cap guru thing.
Yeah,
but there's the part where she's talking about like Super Bowl, Joe Montana against the Bengals. That's all in the script. She was
she knows
a
a couple
fan.
things about trivia.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's a positive
the
change.
boss banging the assistant, knocking her up is pretty
Still there.
cringy.
Are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
But he agreed. Hold on.
It is. It's
hold on.
less cringy
Come
when
on.
she's in a higher position, though.
He agreed to hold her hand at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah,
in front of
that's
everybody.
right.
Oh man,
that's right.
He's whipped already. Which reminds me, I don't think we mentioned, but in Top Gun, she's the like PhD, Defense Department expert. The original script, she was like a gymnast that like hung out around the bar. I think it's like that was a good. And I think someone in the studio was like, no, this isn't. I think it was a woman in the studio. I was like, no, give her something to do other than be a gymnast.
And throw a volleyball scene in there with a bunch of shirtless dudes.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Anthony Edwards kept his shirt on.
There's always one guy.
Always one guy.
Is he the third nipple, you think?
I always
Fifth nipple.
I always try to swim with my
Hashtag
shirt
fifth
on
nipple.
growing up.
You
as a fat kid,
you were a fat kid, shirt in the pool.
And like it was really hard to pull off on indoor pools because you can't use sunburn as an excuse.
I'm allergic to chlorine. This feels to me like they made a movie about the Texans before the Texans happened. Like just awful trades, giving away good players for like negative value. The Easter Bunny, all of that. Mm-hmm. They're gonna make a 30 for 30 about the Texans, right? But the Texans will settle for a 30 for 10.
I think it was pretty.
Win one for the Gipper. How many first rounders would a team have to offer you for you to trade Mahomes?
I'd do a first rounder for each year of his 10-year contract. So
10-year. So 10 first rounders,
10
you
first rounders
would take that
and
deal.
3 second rounders.
Well, the 3 second rounders.
Also.
You're asking what the number is.
Yeah.
The number of first round.
Yeah. You're just gonna say ditto.
It's a big number of number ones to get rid of.
I think it matters where they are because you know, like maybe if it's a shitty team this year.
Well, and it matters who's picking
But
them.
Mahomes will be on that team. They're not going to be high picks.
Well, and it's the chicken
saying?
of the like. Andy Reid is known for he's good with quarterbacks.
Right.
And so would Mahomes be Mahomes
Hard-hitting
with
football
Andy Reid or chicken the what happened?
Yeah, I think.
And everybody got mad at Reid for not getting Deshaun Watson. They're
Were
mad.
people mad about that?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Like
people
here at the draft?
Oh yeah, Kansas City football fans are the worst some of the dumbest fans ever.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Well, and then we had, what was it, 2014? No wide receiver touchdowns, which is just special. There's Dwayne Bowe fumbling at the 1, and it's, is it Kelsey gets it in the end zone, recovers it for a touchdown? And then there was one with A.J. Jenkins, a draft bust. We traded our own wide receiver draft bust for a 49ers wide receiver draft bust. We're like, can we just swap and see if they get better after they've been told, like, oh, you suck, we don't want you anymore, and, like, change of scenery?
It didn't work.
And we got A.J. Jenkins, and he catches a pass, like, down the sideline. It's like I think it's like a screen. He gets around, and he's just, like, 40 yards up the sideline, you're good, and he just stepped out of bounds for no reason. Like, no one is near him. Like, that was that year. The chicken and the egg, like, would Pat Mahomes be Pat Mahomes without Andy Reid? I think if Pat Mahomes was drafted by, like, the Browns, I guess the Browns are decent now. If he was drafted by the Jaguars and he's on some terrible team with bad coaching, the Super Bowl is what it would look like every week. It was just like him making insane, like just he runs around 40 yards back and forth, like completely over sideways, throws it, hits a dude in the face.
Doing
like,
everything.
What? It would be like that every week. Yeah. And they would be 4-12, and it would be the highlight of everyone's week is watching the Pat Mahomes team put up crazy weird plays and lose.
He'd probably burn out 5 years in.
He would, yeah. I think if you said 10 first, 3 twos, I would still, it depend, like if it's the Jags and I can get Trevor Lawrence right now and then still have 9 firsts, I would probably do that. But if it's not like right away I know I'm getting a top quarterback, I'm going to say no. 10 first. Like, first are valuable, but then at the same time, you look at, like, Tim Tebow was a first-round pick. Johnny Manziel was a first-round pick. Like, there's a lot of bad first-round picks. There's nothing sure about it. This script was in the blacklist. So the blacklist is, like, every year. It started out as, like, the producers in Hollywood. Like, here are the hot scripts that haven't been made yet, but are like, oh, that was a good script. And they, like, poll some producers. It's like a real underground kind of thing. It's now, like, commercialized and, like, studios are putting their scripts they're making in there, like Aaron Sorkin scripts show up in there, and you're like, well, that's getting made. And there's also a website called Blacklist, made by the same people, where they get newbie amateurs to like pay them money to list on our website.
Is it connected to the show, The Blacklist?
It's unconnected to the show, The Blacklist. So I think that it's like that website is like banking on you thinking, oh, if I pay $80, they'll put me on this, famous blacklist. Anyway. This script was on the 2012 blacklist. It wasn't just on it, it was number 1. It was the number 1 script floating around Hollywood that year. Movie comes out 2014. Some differences. The big one, it's about the Bills, not the Browns.
Oh, wow.
It's set in Buffalo. So, the scene, the owner saying, make a splash. Mm-hmm. Make a splash. Where they're like, is it a water park or just like a theme park?
Yeah, kind of like, I picture the monsoon.
Yeah.
When he talks about it.
Yeah. In the script, it is set at SeaWorld Buffalo.
Oh.
What?
With a weirdo owner who's like, yeah, I opened SeaWorld Buffalo because I'm a crazy guy.
People pay to get wet.
Well, that was a good change.
Yeah, it's that paints the script in a different light, I think, is the like SeaWorld Buffalo. One of the few things I thought was really funny, and they cut it.
I wonder too if like,
I mean, SeaWorld Cleveland would still be funny.
it still would be funny. I wonder too if like, when they're choosing a team, like is the Cleveland fan base bigger than the Buffalo fan base? Just pure numbers.
So having read
You know?
interviews with the screenwriters,
Buffalo's a smaller city than
That's
Cleveland.
what I'm wondering.
having read interviews with the screenwriters, one of them is a Cleveland fan, and so early on they said, I don't want to do it on my own team just because like it'd be too attached,
Too
to it or
close to
something.
home.
So let's do whatever. But they wanted it to be a diehard fan base, which has not had success lately.
Could have been the
Cleveland
Chiefs in
every time.
2014.
Could have been the Chiefs, yeah, in 2013.
It's still sad for the whale.
Sure.
It's still sad for
The reason they changed it to Cleveland is it's cheap to film in Cleveland.
Cheaper than Buffalo?
Yeah. Cleveland or Ohio's got like, this
Tax
is why anything
breaks
is filmed
and stuff,
anywhere
yeah.
is like tax breaks and bullshit like that.
They should have done a crossover with the Drew Carey show while they were there.
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah.
So
And A Christmas Story.
So
Is that
So the dad, Sonny's dad, Sonny Senior. The fact that he's named Sonny bugs me because he's like the son of the. But it's like his dad's name is Sonny too.
Well, it makes you think.
Yeah,
It's deep.
really. So Sonny Senior he's been the coach for. He's like Joe Paterno. Like he's been around forever.
Minus the sexual abuse scandal.
You hope. So the premise is he's been like this successful coach. Like the fans love him.
Yeah.
But the team has been terrible. Like how does this work? At this point, the Browns had only been around 15 years.
Well, that's because they moved to
To Baltimore.
Yeah.
But so it's like the expansion Brown. He's been the coach of the expansion Browns for like 15 years.
Yeah.
But they've sucked. But everyone loves them. Does that make any sense? So in the original script, he's basically like if Marv Levy never retired. Like they'd had some glory days and now it's not so much. Or kind of like Tom Landry because Cowboys multiple Super Bowls. And then Jerry Jones buys the team and immediately fires Tom Landry, and everyone's like super mad that he fired Tom Landry.
But also, to be fair, Jerry Jones is
Jerry
a garbage person.
Yeah.
You hear that, Jerry?
In the script, there is a shoddily made YouTube video where we hear Journey's Don't Stop Believing sung by a fat guy in Bill's jersey. But I want you to sing it for me.
Don't Stop Believing.
It's Don't Stop Believing, but hear the words. Just your best shot.
Okay. Just a shitty GM about to destroy my team. Gonna make them take off for Los Angeles.
Do.
The scout fast forwards. Scout number 3. Hold on, this is the best part. Fat Bills fan, that lost me there. Don't fuck up my Bills. Sonny, just do your fucking job for once. Do I sing Scout number 2?
No, that's the like.
Oh, I thought
the
that's
formatting.
what threw me
It's
off.
screenplay formatting.
That was really well done, though,
Thank
I have
you.
to say.
I approve of that.
I
That was
enjoyed
good.
that. I
was
enjoyed
good.
that a lot.
So that was cut. I guess.
Why was that cut?
Weird Al
Right.
with Coolio. Did you ever hear that when he did Amish Paradise? He thought that he got Coolio's consent, but evidently he didn't. And he didn't really.
Record company lied or
Yeah, or like
something like that.
there was some miscommunication, and he said he didn't need his consent, but he still likes to get consent. So I think when you're doing, it's a parody law, so that would totally
Parody.
be fine.
That should be fine. But they cut it. I'm
Maybe
pretty
for
sure you could
time.
change Bills to Browns. It's not that problem. So
Definitely not.
I'm gonna guess.
Didn't want to use their F word.
I'm gonna guess Kevin Costner came on the project and was like,
I'm
silly.
a serious
SeaWorld
actor.
is silly. This is silly. And he cut those. It's like he cut the funny stuff.
He would have been right, though, to point out that those were silly.
They are silly, but those are like the fun parts of the script to me. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Kevin
I'm on board
Costner's
with
not a
that.
fun person.
He's not a fun person.
Have you guys seen A Perfect World?
No.
No.
That was about where he kidnaps a Jehovah's Witness kid and teaches him how to have fun.
I have seen Waterworld.
We'll have to watch that.
Yeah, he puts them up on his station wagon and he makes it feel like it's a roller coaster because they're not allowed to have that. Takes them trick-or-treating They eat mustard sandwiches together. I
This is
actually
like
tried
a
a mustard sandwich.
Is there
because of
anything in that?
movie.
It's just mustard?
Just mustard on a sandwich. That's all they got from Turkey. I'm spoiling everything, though.
So I read the script when it came out on the Blacklist, and I wrote on my shitty blog that I had at the time, wrote the following. This script uses people yelling like Michael Bay uses explosions. It is a dumber version of Moneyball that gets all the sports things wrong and thinks yelling will keep you from noticing.
That's
Thoughts?
deep. That's so deep.
These
can edit in your
screenwriters,
answer
yeah,
later.
I'll edit out anything that's boring. The screenwriters, their like big thing was the ticking clock. They're like, this is drama, the ticking clock. And that's
Normally
why
they
it's
have
set.
like 15 minutes around. So
Yeah,
I'm
well,
surprised
there's
it's
also
10.
a weird thing where they say like the whole 7 rounds of the draft and 224 players are going to be picked in that day, even though the draft was already spread across like 2 or 3 days at that point. And it's not 224 players. They get the number of players wrong.
7 rounds. 224 young men. All right, I fucking lied.
It was so easy to
256.
get right.
It is. I don't understand. There's a lot of easy to get right things they get wrong. The movie fixes most of them, but that one they still get wrong. The ticking clock, I think, works.
But it just feels like we needed something to create tension.
It feels funny.
I felt a lot of tension. I love that movie. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That is going to be a movie I watch once a year. I actually bought it when I went to watch it again. It was $5 to rent and $10 to buy. I'm losing money not buying it.
This is why you like that movie.
I love the movie.
Bad at deals.
Brandon, here's what you have to understand. This is a home of haters.
No. Think what they should have aimed for. Well, like, there's Moneyball. There's the trade deadline day where he's on the phone with like 4 different GMs simultaneously. I'm going to move this guy here. Oh, I'm going to trick this guy. I think I have this. In this movie, they're all like one thing at a time. There's never a bidding war at any point. There's never like 3 teams involved in the same deal. Like the trade for the first pick. There's not like, the Jaguars said they'll give us 4 first-rounders. Will you give us 4 first-rounders? Like, no, the Jaguars didn't say that. And then you call the Jaguars like, did you offer 4 first-rounders? He's saying you're offering 4. I don't know. And you're trying to feel out all these things.
Information. I don't think the Jaguars would say, yeah, I did.
I know, but it's at least like a poker scene of like trying to feel, and maybe Jeff the Goober isn't very good at like his poker face.
That's day of the draft.
Yeah. But that's the ticking clock means that they have to do everything this day. So this day is so overcrowded with just shit.
There were a lot of moments when I was like, you're telling me the GM hasn't thought about this until the day of the draft. It's before Dad died.
And he runs nothing by anybody for the first pick.
He's a
trade
GM.
up. He makes that trade like on a whim in his car.
Well, he got blindsided. He didn't know he was going to have the chance at the number 1 overall pick.
You always have the chance at that if you're willing to throw 4 first-rounders at somebody. In one day, in the script, Sonny finds out his girlfriend is pregnant. She leaves him. He wins her back. His dad's will is read. He spreads his dad's ashes. He finds out his dad was a cuck. A woman threatens to burn his house down. A subordinate starts a fire in his office. Another subordinate trashes his office. His boss threatens to fire him and move the team to LA. And the NFL draft.
His dad was a cuck?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Ellen
They
Burstyn.
cut that.
Ellen Burstyn, you naughty minx.
I wonder if the NFL cut that. I know.
I don't know. I'm going to say it's Costner. Didn't want to be a baby cuck.
My dad's not a cuck.
So if you're a big football fan and you're watching this, I feel like you're just noticing all the inaccuracies. Okay, the guy makes this trade on a whim in his car, and then the Vontae Mack pick number 1 after you've traded 4 firsts
That
to
felt
move
good,
up.
though.
No, it did
And then
not.
you pick a linebacker who's going to fall to you.
Felt good.
No.
They're worried he's going to fall to the teens or the 20s.
Or the second round.
You don't take me in 7, I drop down to the late teens.
And you traded away. You just lit 3 first rounders
He
on
acknowledged
fire.
that, though. He acknowledged
Which
it.
makes him even dumber.
He's like, shit, I did it. We all make mistakes. He was able to rectify it.
He knows it's a mistake before he does it.
You want me to give you the Cleveland Browns first-round picks for the next 3 years?
That's right.
Well, that's insane, Tom.
I know I'm not supposed to eat fast food, and like on my way to McDonald's, I'm like, I am making a mistake. This is dumb, and I still order it. And while I'm eating it, like I'm not going to finish this.
That's a good analogy. Like that's what Kevin Costner is doing. He's eating a double down, KFC double down.
He just went for the McDonald's of draft picks.
I'd say the KFC double down, the Long John Silver's of draft picks.
A&W.
Captain D's.
The A&W
Captain D's is
Coney.
good. Don't shame Captain
I don't
D's.
eat fast food at all.
Captain
so I
D's
don't know.
is a shit.
I won't eat it now because I don't want it to ruin my childhood in
Yes.
case it is bad.
If you're a hardcore football fan, you're going to be noticing all these inaccuracies. If you're not a hardcore football fan, do you care to watch this movie?
No, probably not. I think that's
So,
why
like-
they threw the Jennifer Garner.
For the-
so you can
Yeah,
watch it
we're
with
going to
the
spend
wife.
half the movie
Hey,
on
this is a romance
pregnancy
movie.
thing.
Their age gap bothers me. It's like a solid 17-year age gap.
I have it in here. He was 59 and she was 42. 17. Yeah.
See?
Well, okay.
Too big.
You know your age gaps.
Apparently.
I think they have no chemistry at all.
Yeah. Because he could be her dad.
17? Yeah.
Yes.
I suppose. Back when in Kevin Costner's day.
Yeah.
He could have gotten
Old-
someone
old
pregnant at
guy.
17.
Totally.
P. Diddy.
That
P. Diddy is trash.
Oh, I'm
He
gonna
is
tell
so
you what.
bad. He has
Yeah.
no.
Listen.
He has no charisma.
Listen, I'm going to defend P. Diddy here.
We both know it's cold in Cleveland.
I'd love to talk with him, Chris.
He's right here. Hold on.
Bold.
That is like on par for what he does. He is good at making money off other people's talent. So the fact that he was a manager, an agent, that was on brand.
I
for
feel
P.
like the
Diddy.
agent should have some charisma though.
That's fair.
I think this movie is more enjoyable if while you're watching it, you're not thinking like, oh, they did it, but instead you're thinking like, oh, this is why the Browns will go 0-16 pretty soon.
I was this close to wearing my
Wait.
Dante Hall jersey. I have the jersey of a
I've
punt
got like
returner.
5 jerseys upstairs if you want one.
We
I'm
should
not
have
going to fit
bought.
into any of your jerseys.
I've got some floppy ass jerseys. Like, most of my like, look at this. You can fit in this. All right, I've got
Floppy ass jersey.
in a previous video, you have said
Show me a butt. I can tell you what year it's from.
so. I have photos from the
Ooh.
NFL draft.
Oh, God. That is a shitty photo.
They're
Yeah.
pretty terrible because it's hard to get photos of butts.
I was expecting some bare ass or something.
These are all NFL draft night. They're walking on the stage. They're meeting, Goodell or Tagliabue. I want both of you to guess. We'll see if she's really a butt expert. What do you got? What year is this?
2001.
2001.
That's a good guess. I'm going to say slightly earlier than that. I'm going to say 97.
Alex Smith, 2005.
All right.
Point to Brandon.
Yeah. That's a shitty photo.
They're all
they're
screen
touching
casts
dicks
off
in
of
this one.
YouTube.
Okay, this is a much better photo.
It is. What do you got?
Much clearer. Well, I'm seeing two butts here.
It's this butt.
Are
This is a front.
Oh, we're hugging.
Yeah, this is you walk on stage and you meet Goodell or Tagliabue or Pete Rozelle.
Got it.
I'd say 2011.
2011.
That's a good guess too. I'm gonna say 2016. Sammy. That's Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins. That's
Looks-
a Sammy butt.
That looks
Lizard person.
He looks chonky. It's not much of a butt. This is a back.
This is as good as I can get. It is hard to get good butt shots.
92.
You don't want to know how long I spent going to draft videos to get butt shots.
I feel like I
They're
actually
always
do
just
want to
sitting
know
in the
that.
green room.
Yeah,
I do.
And then it's
I do want to know.
And
how
then
long-
it's like, oh, they get up, they get a phone call, they walk out of the stage real fast, and often there's like a graphic at the bottom of the screen, and that covers
covering the butt.
So I was watching documentaries. I was
need to
watching a
call
lot.
the
I did a
NFL
lot
about
of
that.
butt research.
I'm
re-
saying 92.
Makes me really happy that you did a lot of butt research.
I did a lot of butt research.
I'm saying 2000.
That is Peyton Manning, 98.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, so this is recent.
That's Goodell.
Yeah.
So
It's Goodell. That doesn't really narrow it down that much.
2017.
I'm going to stick with 2011.
It's a tie.
We've split the difference.
It's a tie. Johnny Manziel, 2014.
That's Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
His shoes suck. The tan shoes are also telling me the vents. 2015.
Say 2003.
Daniel Jones, 2019.
That's way off.
Way off. Thought you were going to pip that one from her. What do we got here?
Oh my. This is.
Maybe you guess first.
Okay.
You keep explaining all your thoughts. And
Oh,
then
sorry.
She, like,
Okay.
ignores them. And like could have just been like, I don't know. She's had a lot of thoughts.
Spoiler.
2015. I'll go 2015.
I just guess. I don't go through the suit. I don't know how to pull out a
Listen
suit.
to her, the butt expert.
98.
2000.
That is Reggie Bush, 2006.
Oh, wow.
Tiebreaker. What year is this from?
97.
95.
It's 93. So
So I feel like I need to show off my
Oh, I'm wearing Chiefs socks.
Oh, I have actually had Chiefs socks. I should have worn them.
They trade 4 number ones, move up to the number 1 pick. He does it on a whim in the car. He ups the price by an extra number 1 pick in like between the phone calls. Yeah. And he doesn't try to haggle him down. He's just like,
he just accepts it
for like 4 seconds.
He was upset about it.
For 4 seconds.
He let him know he was upset about it.
And then he just said, okay, I guess. Yeah. So Cleveland's at number 1. They then picked the linebacker, Vontae Mack, who was going to be there at 7 anyway. So they just lit 3 first-rounders on fire for no reason.
They didn't get him back.
They do get him back, only because the movie makes them get them back. In real life, at this point, if you go, what would happen? They just have no first-rounders for 3 years. They go 0-16, and the first overall pick, the next Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, goes to Seattle because Seattle has their picks. They pick the linebacker, they pass on Bo Callahan, and then Bo Callahan just falls in the draft. We've established he's the next Peyton Manning, better than John Elway.
We're all number 1 to Seattle. That's got to be a slam dunk. We haven't had a quarterback like this enter the draft since Andrew Luck. Right.
The Browns say, no, we want a linebacker, and then everyone else in the league panics and is like, I don't know. The Browns said they don't want him. The Browns must know something we don't know.
There's precedent for that.
For where are you going?
The same
Aaron Rodgers falling? Or?
Yes, Aaron Rodgers falling to 28.
That's different because he was not seen as a better than John Elway prospect. He was seen as a top 10 pick.
Still,
not better than John Elway.
So he's still seeing a top 10 pick and he drafted 18 slots. Bo Callahan only dropped 6 spots.
Yes, but remember, once Cleveland trades up to 1, the Bills, I think in the movie it's the Bills, call him and they're like, we'll give you 2 future 1s and these 2 Pro Bowlers to get Bo Callahan.
Yeah.
So when the Browns...
The Pro Bowlers were trash, and we all know that.
Okay. So when the Browns pass on him, are the Bills not calling the number 2 pick and saying, hey, we'll give you a bunch of shit to trade up and get Bo Callahan?
They all knew those Pro Bowlers were trash.
Well, first
I'll
rounders to move
guarantee you
up.
Peyton Manning's friends went to his birthday.
It's probably true. But because the Browns pass on him, the rest of the league, instead of being like, well, the Browns are such idiots, they're like, oh no, they must know something.
Yeah.
This is because men are emotional and very...
Bo Callahan needs one of these. There you go.
Fall risk.
Yeah. Bo Callahan needs to wear one of those.
What's going on?
He's dropping. And then more recently,
What?
Picks number 2 and 3 are not Bo Callahan. Nobody's picking him.
This is a dad joke.
Yeah.
This is a dad joke.
Sounds like elder abuse.
I wore this yesterday. I got this yesterday. I was on general anesthesia yesterday. So.
Like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it was the same drugs.
He was such an obvious choice, and they didn't go with it. Like, wait, this guy's an obvious choice. Why didn't they go with it?
Because they're the Browns, and they're stupid.
But it's not just the Browns. It's Kevin Costner here we're talking about.
The stupid Kevin Costner Browns. In real life, what happens is Johnny Manziel falls in the draft, and the Browns are like, wow, everyone else is stupid. We'll grab him. Or the Broncos going, wow, everyone else is stupid. Let's get Tebow. Somebody's trading up. And in the movie, they say, like, oh, the Broncos are picking next. But they have a quarterback, so they won't take him. So he'll just split past them.
The Broncos, and they're not taking Callahan. They got Matt Harrod. They don't need Callahan.
It's like the Broncos won't trade back? Somebody's not going to offer the Broncos something to move up? In a movie that completely hinges on people trading and moving around draft picks?
It was probably the Bills with that shit offer.
That was a good... It was too few...
I'm running out of steam on these fucking things.
Yeah, but no first round, no pick that. So he would have lost a pick. The first round pick that year. There's no first round pick that year. I think it probably meant their first that year and then a future. The movie. It was the next 2 first round picks.
The movie is fast and loose with what they mean by future. Because sometimes they'll say your next 3 second rounders, and it's like, wait, does that include this year?
I think you're thinking too hard about draft day.
If we get 46, we'd have 34, 46, and then we get a 2 next year. Everybody doing the 2 2s? Yeah. I am. Tell them we'll do it. We'll do the second, and we'll do the 2 and 20.
Is that including this year's, or?
Well, they know what they're talking about.
Is this a move
Jeff
up?
thinks he's a GM.
As a guy that's had many fantasy teams, you know.
I was the commissioner of an all-women's fantasy league.
What was your fantasy team name?
Matt Schaub's Lob Blog was pretty good.
Matt Schaub's Lob Blog?
Virginia Sex Toy Company. Teabaggers.
Why does the Seahawks GM panic? 14 fans in the parking lot have like...
They're burning him in effigy.
Well,
they don't actually burn him in effigy, but they're like getting ready to.
Reading the blogs and the Twitters.
Okay, so Kevin Costner, who's like, He tweeted it? What? Yeah. Who's on Twitter? And his mom is like, you're not on Twitter?
I checked all the Seahawk fan blogs and chat rooms. They're all calling for your head.
It was that intern.
Who's on chat
It was that intern that got him in there.
My read on that line was that he's
full of shit.
He's full of shit.
I agree. But it's still funny that he's like, I'm on the chat rooms.
But it makes sense. No. The chat rooms are much older than Twitter. So it would make sense if he's on anything, it'd be chat room and not Twitter.
But
that's a good point.
In the logic of the movie, the Seahawks GM is so moved by the threat of the chat rooms and the 14 people in the parking lot being mad that they passed on Bo.
If anything, the movie was ahead of its time.
Okay.
Due to outside pressure.
Because he's emotional.
Because 14 people want to burn him in effigy. He's like, I got to undo this amazing trade I just pulled off.
If anything, it predicted cancel culture.
Imagine having the shitty mid-2010s Cleveland Browns next 3 first-rounders. They're going to go 0-16. You're going to have the first overall pick.
Which is why we're not even going to think about doing this unless we can find someone
Stupid enough to give us more than he should.
Do that. Ouch. Ouch. No thanks.
I know what it sounds
Sounds like you're trying to take advantage of me.
I would never do that. Correction. Your next 3 first-round picks.
What?
You heard me.
You want me to give you the Cleveland Browns first-round picks for the next 3 years?
That's right.
Well, that's insane, Tom. I checked all the Seahawk fan blogs and chat rooms. They're all calling for your head. Ever since you traded away Callahan, the barbarians are at the gate.
Okay, so when you sort out all of the trades, here's what you get. Cleveland gets a punt returner, a linebacker, and a running back. And when they could have just had one of those two, they got both. Again, these are the 2 positions of like the least value in the first round. Seattle loses a punt returner, gains absolutely nothing. Just nothing.
They got Bo Callahan back.
They get Bo Callahan, who they could have had without losing this punt returner. And then they're like, yeah, but it'll be cheaper because of his contract. Is like, does anyone care about this $3 million?
It's $7 million, and that is real. That is real. In my fantasy baseball draft this year, I cut a guy I had at $24, and I redrafted him at $19.50.
Moneyball right here.
The Jaguars moved the number 6 pick for 3 second-rounders. I think
that's pretty solid.
The winners, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jaguars of all teams.
But that's Kevin Costner. He's going to give you a good deal.
They get the 6th pick. The Seattle Seahawks are 7, right? And then they hold that pick hostage. This negotiation he's having with the Seahawks, you pancake-eating motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole movie turns on this scene. Because if this doesn't work, he lit 3 first-round picks on fire.
And he wasted a good line.
Come on, Tom. Say it with me, you pancake-eating motherfucker.
This is the ticking clock. This is the epitome. This is the point in the movie where the ticking clock matters. What happens if the clock runs out?
The Seahawks would get the pick.
They could just turn it in right away.
That's not fair.
Well, you want to cry about it, Tom, or you want to make a little magic before the clock runs out on both of us?
With like 3 minutes left, he's like, never mind, I'm going to draft him. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, but if he takes Bo Callahan, they could still just trade for Bo Callahan. Like Eli Manning, you know.
Phil Rivers. But it's a branded movie. I mean, how high of an expectation do you have for a branded movie?
Branded movie?
The NFL, that's the brand.
It was the number 1 pick of the Blacklist. This is supposed to be the best screenplay in Hollywood. By the way, that same year, Arrival, that script, which was called like Story of Your Life or something. Yeah, but I'm saying that's a great script. That's a great movie. Clever.
I agree.
Interesting. Like, what's clever about this movie?
Hey, how about another NFL fact here? There's only been 2 number 1 overall picks that's won the Super Bowl since 1999.
Since 99, okay, so no Peyton.
I don't have their names. I didn't write those down.
I could think of it. Eric Fisher. 2002 is David Carr, expansion Texans. I think he did win a Super Bowl as a backup for the Giants. David Carr.
That might be.
Eli Manning's backup.
I should have written it. I'm going to say, though, I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to go Rain Man on me with all the number 1 overall picks. I didn't know you were a football. I thought you're having me for this because I was going to be the football fan of the group.
I'm the football fan of the group.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm the football nerd of the group.
Yesterday, Jeff named for me all of the Chiefs' first-round picks for the last.
Dontari Poe. Going back to Trezell Jenkins.
When the Chiefs lost to the Bills in the AFC Championship way back in the
93.
30-13, and then the Bills end up losing to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl 30-13.
So what it was, 93, it was probably January 94, so I was almost 8. I'm next door neighbor, my best friend. We're like throwing the football around in the yard before the game. And he's like, oh, the Chiefs will win because the good guys always win. And I was like, no. Sports aren't fictional. It's not how this works. I had to explain that to him. Okay, so the $100 bill in the playbook, Bill Belichick was shown the script before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And he saw that and was like, what the fuck? Because that's his trick.
I'm sure you can't wait, you fuckhead.
I got a question. Do you think Dennis Leary's character is modeled after Barry Switzer?
I've met Barry Switzer.
What's Barry Switzer like? Is he like Dennis Leary?
No, stupidly.
Well, I'm just saying because he took over the Cowboys when they were already, and then he won a Super Bowl with them.
It's a good...
In the script, it compares him to John Gruden.
Oh.
Who has a ring, has been fired because he
sucked. And he took over for Tony Dungy.
Yeah. He like took over someone else's team.
When I was in college, my granddad came down for his older sister's like 80th birthday party or something. And so I drove down to Norman. So we're sitting there and in walks Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer walks directly over to our table, leans over and gives my great aunt a kiss on the cheek. She had worked in the athletes cafeteria while he was coach at OU, football coach at OU, wished her happy 80th birthday and like flashed his ring around for all of us to see.
It's like, ooh, another opportunity to show my ring.
Yeah, he was real nice to my great aunt.
Do you think they had something?
It's possible. Could be. I don't know.
We'll get to that.
Never say never.
All right.
If so, good for you, Aunt Billy.
Here's some
for you.
differences between the script and the movie. The owner threatens to move the team to LA. Is that ever in the movie?
No.
It's very overt. Like, if you don't do this right, I'm moving the team to LA.
He just threatened to fire him.
Yeah. Okay. So he's threatening to move the team to LA, and so when he says make a splash, he also says like I need to sell tickets, which is like you tell me Bill's Mafia is not turning out for these games. That doesn't make any sense. Like Bill's Mafia is going to the games when they're 2-14. Page 3. Sunny and Allie, she comes, there's the very first scene with her, very awkward. She's like, will you tell me what you're thinking? It's obviously the pregnancy conversation. He says, do you want to keep it? And then she gets mad and he's like, well, I don't know, first things first. So page 3 of the script, they're talking abortion.
Yeah.
I already get adoption too. Either way.
Rich people don't.
Football and abortion, right away.
Rich people do not put their kids up for adoption.
Midway through the script, she tells Sonny she's leaving. She's moving to her hometown. I forget where. It's far away. She's moving away.
Wait.
To learn the true meaning of Christmas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So she like dumps him midway through the script. He has to like win her back. The movie cuts all the cursing except for the one F word. They also cut, during one of the negotiations, Kevin Costner says, you're trying to sodomize me. They cut that line.
They should have kept that one in.
There's a lot of F-bombs.
That would have been out of nowhere.
That's actually maybe the most surprising thing is that Dennis Leary's character did not drop any F-bombs.
Yeah.
Or try to sodomize anyone.
And saying sodomize is actually cleaning it up.
Tyrell Williams, he beats Cox.
Anyway, that's a clean way to say it.
Bugger. Page 12, right after the fight with Allie, she drives off in her Camaro, right? Pumping gas in his car. Right in here is when the Seahawks call happens. He's gassing up. He looks over and sees an attractive black woman, 30s, suggestively dressed, pumping gas.
Very progressive.
She sees Sonny, gives him a flirty smile. So this is 7 pages after the abortion conversation.
I was going to say, was that before he said, so do you want to keep it?
This is like less than 10 pages later. He tries to flirt with her.
Who is even younger than what's her name is.
Because Jennifer Garner was 42. This says 30s.
Did he call her up? Are you sure you want to keep it?
So he says, beautiful morning, huh? She says, if you fuck this draft up, you fuck this team up, and then you fuck the city up. And if you and Melina take this team to LA, me and my cousin Donald will torch your house to the ground. Do you hear me? Me and Donald will light your house on fire, and it will burn to the ground.
I like the twist. I did not see that coming.
She gets back in her car.
I like it though. I like the
This gives
let's
you
showcase the crazy
Bill's Mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie is missing Bill's Mafia.
Yeah.
Just throwing people on tables, lighting things on fire.
Yeah.
So she gets in her car and she's pulling away, but rolls her window down and says, "To the ground." I'm gonna burn your house to the ground. I love it. Okay, so Sonny, after this, he goes to his parents' house. There's a fire in the backyard. He goes back, and his mom is just throwing Dad's football memorabilia in there. Football, signed all kinds of stuff. And he's like, Mom, like, the Hall of Fame's going to want some of this stuff. And she's like, I don't care. It's like, fuck football, burning all this shit. So that's burning beat
Even
number
though
3.
she Cuck.
And they tamed that
We'll get to
down.
So then he's hanging out with his mom at his mom's house when up drives a Cadillac driven by a former Hall of Fame, multiple Super Bowl ringed coach. It compares in the script to Bill Parcells plus Jerry Glanville.
Oh, wow.
Which I think just means Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, because of the hair. 'Cause Glanville was about his hair.
Glanville's got the hair and is just like a weird, crazy Southern dude.
Like, I'd say like 3/4 Glanville, maybe 1/4 of Parcells.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like Jimmy Johnson. Maybe it's Barry Switzer driving a Cadillac. So something like that.
That makes sense.
So he drives up and clearly is like hanging around the mom, Sonny's mom, a little much. And Sonny accuses him of like swooping in on the widow. And it kind of hints at like he's banging the widow. And it's like, wait, Dad's been dead a week? Wait, what?
You gotta cut that out.
Later on, Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, shows up at the facility, the team facility, whatever. It's like trying to get in the war room. And he like, Costner does not want him in the war room. But then he reveals to him, yes, I've been banging your mom, but your dad knew about it. This has been going on for years. So he's a cuck. His dad was a cuck. And so he's super mad about that. And then...
This movie's way ahead of its time.
I know. Barry Switzer tells him that his dad was fucking around on his mom. And
What does this do for the plot?
It's just revelations and people yelling at each other.
Okay.
It uses people yelling at each other like that's drama.
Okay. It's like the Mannings.
Yeah. They cut
Allegedly.
all of this.
What happened with the Mannings?
They're
Oh, yeah,
allegedly,
it's a
for legal
rumor
reasons,
that
allegedly.
Peyton Manning is a
they're in an
swinger.
open marriage. They're swingers.
So they cut that completely. That character's not there, but they added in Kevin Costner's ex-wife.
Yeah, that
Who,
came
for
out
that
of left
one
field.
scene, I thought that was his sister at first.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did too.
But it's his ex.
Why would she be at the will?
I don't know. I guess
Because-
Dad liked her. Maybe Dad was fucking.
Ew.
Or
Well,
she was there to push him towards Jennifer Garner's character. Like, this is like, oh man, I can't go back. She's obviously money grubbing because they're exes, but she was still at the will reading, right?
Hoping for...
So she's there to make him realize, you know what, I got a good thing with Jennifer Garner. I think I'm going to hold her hand in front of everybody.
so in the film, he convinces Dennis Leary to stick around, right?
Yeah.
In the script, he fires Dennis Leary and hires Barry Switzer.
The
Dude
mom
who's fucking his mom.
Oh.
That's how the script ends.
wanted a new dad. It feels like you're reading like the porn parody of the movie.
What if Kevin Costner and then Jennifer Garner bang in the supply closet?
This is weird
I kept
fan
thinking they
fiction.
were going to do something shady in the supply closet.
Yeah.
They kept going in there.
No.
And I was like,
Ralph, Sonny, Allie,
Ralph.
everybody cozy? Good.
Maybe that's where the baby was made. Maybe they'll name it supply closet.
Like
there was no, like, except for the hand holding, there wasn't
Yeah.
any kind of...
There was no violence either, except him throwing that intern's computer
That
against
poor
the wall.
intern, Rich. Poor Rich.
At one point, Sonny says to his scouts, like, the part where the scouts are like, we did all our work and whatever. He's like, no, you gotta dig deeper. He says, I don't want to waste my time with ass mats who don't want to work for this team.
Ass mats?
Ass mats. It's hyphenated.
What's an ass mat?
I
Like
don't know.
M-A-T or M-A-T-T?
ASS hyphen M-A-T-S.
So not like Matthews, Ass Matthews?
No, like a
So it's
mat.
like mats for your ass.
Like a yoga mat?
A Van Gogh seat cushion, a.k.a.
An ass
mat.
So he's calling them Van Gogh seat cushions. Okay,
Yes.
That makes sense. If I were to tell you that a script describes a person as Amazonian, what would that mean to you?
Tall and willowy.
Does it mean female?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
it
just
uses
because
it
of...
to describe Bo Callahan as Amazonian, which I
Wrong.
thought was very strange.
Wrong.
And then I was like, wait, does Amazonian necessarily mean female?
Well, they changed that. Remember? Because they called him a Jane.
No, I think that's...
Oh, they did make a Jane Tarzan
Jane
thing.
Tarzan thing. Is that about
yeah,
Bo,
that was,
or is
no,
that
that was
about
about the running back.
Yeah, that's about the running.
That's
That's
the
about
running
one.
back.
It's
He's
either
like,
him
we
or
could use more Janes.
Bonte. Yeah.
I gotta.
So they cut the Amazonian line, but they added this Jane Tarzan
Yeah.
thing.
Well, maybe because because you got your power running back that just bolster, then your finesse running back.
Sure.
And he could mean it by that. Like, we got a bunch of power. We need somebody that can, like, because Jamal Charles right there, he was actually a hybrid.
Yeah.
Priest Holmes is more of a finesse running back.
Yes.
That's why Jamal was so magical.
Yeah, because he's like, he had the body of a finesse running back, but he would just, he would run downhill so easily.
Christian Okoye. There's your downhill running back.
Yeah.
Wrong. But in the script, he tells them like there's a phantom injury or something, so that he's hoping he'll fall the second round or something. And then he feels bad and he calls them back later and tells them there's no injury.
He just told them he's a good player.
Yeah, the movie they cut this like arc out. So in the script, he's an asshole. He does a bad thing and then he feels bad and he like fixes it over and over and over in a bunch of different ways. And then like Kevin Costner comes in and is just like, no, he'll just be a good guy the whole time. So he has no arc.
Because Kevin Costner's a good guy. What's wrong with that? I'm sorry he's not like your idol Larry Johnson.
The basketball player?
Yeah.
Goodell is cheered at the draft.
I believe that I booed him in real time as we were watching the film.
You make a movie about the draft, Goodell's not booed mercilessly.
That's where
no Jets making a terrible pick and their fans booing them.
With the ninth pick in the first round, the New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady.
This has to be the biggest mockery I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's like, how did you not just have the fans going, we want Bo, and the Jets pass? Like, that should be the number 2 pick.
It feels like it's written by someone who's never watched a draft.
Yeah.
It really does feel like that.
The 2 screenwriters, when they started doing research, they thought all the GMs were in Radio City Music Hall. I was like, no, that's not how it works.
Are you there? Well, everybody in the draft room's listening to you. We kind of like this D tackle from Houston, Ed Oliver. What do you think?
Oh, Ed Oliver? Hell yeah, baby. I love it.
All right, here we go. Poncho, tell Jeff who we want.
In the script, they have that. It's a montage of Bills failures, like the missed field goal in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then footage of the Buffalo Sabres, Brett Hull's infamous called off goal in 1999 Stanley Cup Game 6. And then a radio host says, no goal.
The Buffalo
Sabres? Buffalo Sabres, hockey.
Well,
is that an NHL team?
Yes.
Currently?
So neither of you know that, yeah.
Saber.
Oh, it's Saber.
Yes.
Of course. Saber.
Good. Take it away, guys.
This is gonna be a good day.
So here's what happened. 1999 Stanley Cup. The Sabres, Buffalo Sabres.
How do I not know that that is
I don't know.
NHL
are
team?
playing the Dallas Stars.
I know that that's a
Brett
team.
Hull is on the Dallas Stars. It's Game 6. It's in overtime. Next goal wins the game. I think the Stars are up 3-2 in the series. If they win this game, they win the cup. Brett Hull scores a goal. His skate is on the line. And that year they had like upped the rules on like you can't be standing in the crease where the goalie is. And so they would like look at it, review it, and say your skate's on the line, no goal. For whatever reason, it's overtime. He scores. They're celebrating, and the NHL, whoever decides not to review it. And so the Stars just win. The Sabres, and they're like, this goal shouldn't count. And that was how the Stanley Cup ended.
Oh, wow.
So the script gets that completely backwards and says it was called no goal. And they think Brett Hull plays for the Sabres. They got all these backwards. It's like, dude, Wikipedia, you could learn that in 40 seconds. Why are you getting this wrong?
See, but you're watching it from like an inside point of view. I'm watching it as a football fan who's easily emotionally manipulated.
Yeah, but it's just wrong. They're not doing it on purpose to manipulate you. They just got their details wrong. Like, they had to look that up. There's no way you remember that.
Yeah.
Jeff is like data.
The birthday party, his friends didn't attend. Do you think his friends weren't there? Or do you think Sam
Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Do you think Sam Elliott's theory is right?
Or could it be that when the cops got to the place and realized that my boys had done nothing wrong, decided not to take down any of the players' names because they didn't want to jam up a bunch of good kids for doing nothing?
In the script, he goes to Michigan and not Wisconsin. I don't know why they switched those.
It seems very
It makes it weird because when it's Wisconsin and he's a Wisconsin quarterback, that's where Russell Wilson went. And so like it's like Seahawks and you're like, wait, it's just a weird, like why not just make the Jaguars? I don't understand.
Because even the Jacksonville fans don't care about the Jaguars.
In the script, the team that has the number 1 pick, the Seahawks in the movie, is the Lions. Somebody says nobody from the 60-person squad was at his birthday party.
Wrong.
There had to be a couple kiss asses there, right?
60-person squad?
60. How many players are on a college football team?
A lot more than that. So many more than that. I don't know the exact number, but it's
in the movie they
so
changed
many more
the line to 85. In the script, they say his birthday party was in a dorm. It's like, whose 21st birthday party? The big man on campus? He lives in a dorm? No.
Really hot. That one?
No, that one.
The left. No,
Oh my God.
You know what would have been amazing if they did some outside marketing and they actually for the movie and they actually made that website.
Maybe they did. We should check. So you're telling me there's a website devoted to all the hot chicks he has sex with, but none of his teammates are interested in going to his birthday party where all the thirsty babes are going to be showing up?
Because they could catch the runoff.
Even if they don't like him, they're
Red
showing
flag.
up for that. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some thirsty, fusty lugs around, right? Sonny says, there were 32 general managers in the league in 98, and every single one of them would have taken Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, one GM took him over Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
At least
Peyton
one.
Manning went first.
Yeah.
So
right there, that's wrong.
Yeah.
What was the deal in 98? It was like, oh, Ryan Leaf, Peyton Manning, kind of a toss-up. We don't know which is one, which is two. Maybe 20 GMs to 10, we're saying. So it was not everyone unanimously thought Ryan Leaf was better because Peyton Manning went number one. So clearly they didn't all think that. The other thing is there were not 32 teams.
Oh, yeah, expansion was 2002?
The Texans were in 02, the new Browns were in 99. There were only
99.
30 teams at the time. It's Sonny saying that line, though, he was like...
You're very upset by this.
At one point, the scouts are having a fun conversation, and one of the scouts says, speaking as a former star quarterback in college, and then the other scout says, yeah, in Division 1A.
That is the top division.
That's the top division. Like, he wants to say Division 2 or Division 1 AA. He says 1A. It's like...
Wrong.
You guys, what are you doing?
God damn it.
How would you improve the film?
Oh, they didn't even write a really good substantial place for her.
Right. I totally agree. Yeah.
It's
That
kinda like
whole...
how the
Say
NFL
$1 million
does.
a few times. It'll work.
That whole character.
It's like the breast cancer awareness month, you know?
It's exactly,
So how do you improve
exactly
that?
what it feels like.
How do you improve that character? Just get rid of her. Get rid of the pregnancy shit. I don't want to be thinking about abortion in my football movie. How are trades done? So this has happened twice in real life where teams have agreed to a trade and then it didn't happen. Or I think one of them was a trade. One of them was like a free agent. It was like a contract where they just like didn't fax it right away and it like didn't happen. So one was Elvis Dumerville. It was like I think re-signing with the Broncos. Something happens with the paperwork doesn't happen, so he hits free agency and he signs with a different team. So like that changed just because like they didn't fax it in time. And then the Bengals and the Browns had a trade. The Bengals were trading their backup quarterback, A.J. McCarron, to the Browns. They convinced the Browns to give him like a second-round pick for their shitty backup quarterback. Something happens. I think somebody higher up on one of the team on the Browns like sabotaged it so that they like didn't get the trade to work. He makes the deal, but then he's like, all right, we gotta like fax this in, and then John Gruden or Dennis Leary like sabotages the fax machine. That could be a fun scene.
Do you think we're still faxing things in 2014?
Yeah.
Is that...
Yeah. The NFL teams are, yeah. We don't have that much for Dennis Leary to do. He's setting paper on fire. Why not have him just like go unplugging fax machines all over the building?
Why
or
don't you
something?
write a reboot of Draft Day, and then I could be the Kevin Costner character.
And then I want you to cuck me.
Yeah.
Day of the draft, picture of him wearing a gas mask, taking a bong hit, and the gas mask comes out, so he tumbles. It's like something like that, crazy like that.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp had something similar. It was like a rumor that he had a cocaine
Everybody in
test.
Miami had a cocaine problem.
But that comes out like the night before the draft, and so he falls. It's like something like that, you know?
Which, like, then you could have like a whole conspiracy angle about
Yeah,
who started the
who's starting the
rumor.
rumor?
I think
It's
yeah.
the team who wants it.
Yeah, I think Bo could have been more scandalous, and he lied about reading a book, and he lied about lying about it.
Yeah, and then so the $100
But also
bill in
no
the
one likes
playbook.
him.
Yeah.
The $100 bill in the playbook was like, it was like the team
He
picking
didn't say
fifth.
thank you for getting the money.
Yeah, it was like the team picking fifth. Send him the playbook.
Yeah.
And he was like, didn't read it. It's like, okay, you're Trevor Lawrence, Peyton Manning, John Elway. You're the first pick in the draft, and you've known it for 3 years. The team picking fifth sends you your playbook. Are you gonna bother reading it? I'm not. Like, go fuck yourself. I'm going number one. Like,
fuck them.
A Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf situation. You have the number one pick, so you trade up to number one, but there's two good quarterbacks. It's Bo and someone else. One of them's going to be great. One's going to be a bust, but you don't know which. And you've got like scouts / head coach banging the table saying we have to pick this guy, and other people we have to pick this guy, and they're just shouting at each other, and you got to pick. Another thought I had was to juxtapose two drafts. We've been watching Caught in the Draft. It's like documentary thing. I've been watching Caught in the Draft, and it's hilarious. Like, it's just a small conference room in a hotel. It's not on TV, really. They're all smoking, and they're, like, hoarding film. There's no internet, you know, so they're like, it's like, oh, yeah, this is the guy, he gets the film, and he, like, gets it from the university and just, like, steals it so that no one else can see the film. It's like...
ESPN had just launched this network and approached Commissioner Pete Rozelle about televising the draft. His reply? Who would watch the draft?
The 39th Annual National Football League Selection Meeting is now in session.
Information in the computer cannot give you good results.
This position, the number one thing was bring me an athlete and we can teach him to play football.
Washington's second-round pick in '74, which prior to the draft, the Redskins had dealt to the Rams. The problem with that was that a year earlier, Washington had already traded the very same pick. George Allen's claim that he'd made an honest mistake was not helped by the fact that he'd made the same honest mistake years earlier, when he was coaching the Rams and had traded one of their picks away twice.
If it was the Colts in '83, they had the number one pick. Elway refuses to play for them. And now it's '98, and it's like the son is in the same situation as the dad was, and he's got to pick Manning or leave.
Another thing that could have been more interesting was to play up the father-son aspect, like, because I think the Archie Manning, that story
fire his dad.
How about this girlfriend subplot? Instead of the one, he's got 2 side piece girlfriends, right?
Like mashed
Does a side
potatoes.
piece imply there's a primary, like an entree?
Well, what
would you call it if you just have 2 entrees?
Well, his first love is football.
Okay, first love is football, but they've teamed up. There's an ultimatum. He's got to pick one. So he assembles the scouts.
And each of them are saying, like, hey, one of them says you need to take Bo, and the other one says you need to take Bonte.
There you go. Now that's interesting.
I just want a scene where he assembles his scouts, and his scouts give him a scouting report on his side pieces. Like, she's got good fluid hips, while not great in the back pedal.
That wouldn't work with the scene where he got mad when they were talking about Bo's babes.
Bo's babes.
They actually did that bit. They did that bit in an episode of Scrubs with the what's the lady that played Felicity?
Carrie
Russell.
Thank you. I was going to say Carrie Underwood, and I knew that wasn't right. She was a college friend of Sarah Chalk's character Elliot, and when she entered in, Turk did a scouting report on her.
If you want a movie about the concept of like potential versus how well they actually turn out, like, oh, someone has all this talent, but then he can't harness it.
In the 2000 NFL Draft, a quarterback who would become one of the best of all time was available. He wasn't the highest rated. He wasn't the best athlete.
Giovanni Carmazzi, the quarterback who was ranked second on your board behind Chad Pennington.
Well, he was probably the best quarterback in the draft with a real future. We were sweating it out about the last 10 picks that somebody would take him.
Giovanni Carmazzi does not own a television and declined to be interviewed. He lives 2 hours north of San Francisco and describes himself as a yoga exercising farmer. He has 5 goats.
Tin Cup is just way better. Watch Tin Cup instead.
Never seen it.
Tin Cup's a great movie.
Tin Cup's a great movie.
This is a golf movie?
It's a golf movie.
I'm out.
It's a good movie. Even if you don't like golf, it's a good movie.
I'm Scottish, so I feel like I should like golf, but I can't.
In the 2014 NFL Draft, which was 2 weeks after this movie came out, the Browns were at pick 4, decided to trade down, being smart, picking up extra picks from 4 down to 9. Then from 9, they traded back up 1 spot to 8. Just like the movie Browns, they did multiple moves, right? At 8, they picked Justin Gilbert, cornerback. Huge bust, terrible, out of the league in 3 years. Later, they trade up to pick 22 because a quarterback is falling in the draft.
Johnny
Manziel.
I knew Johnny Manziel.
So they pick the Bo Callahan of the draft.
That's what I was saying.
They also have a wheeling and dealing, multiple moves.
The Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel, a first rounder next year. A first rounder next year.
and a quarterback across from Hayden. I mean, that's gotta be the best draft ever. Holy shit.
Coach, this is a day for Cleveland to celebrate.
We had a great day!
Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Johnny Manziel, speaking of off the field issues.
He is in the fan-controlled football league. Do you know about the fan-controlled football league? Fans tell him what plays to run.
Just go right Manziel around. Through his hands, a fumble. Tries to pick it up, lets that one go. They'll pick it up.
There's a stretch of 13 picks in a row from 5 to 17 where every player is a Pro Bowler, except for one, Justin Gilbert. The strength and conditioning coach is the asshole whose truck Pam vandalizes in the office.
You will draw one human butt. What I do with said drawings is no one's business but my own.
You're going to compare them to the butts up there.
Incorrect. It is my fetish. Oh, also sign them. My fetish is signed drawings of butts.
Did you hear about Brian Drew? Guess how much he squatted? He's not supposed to be squatting to 400. 4 bills. I know. Yeah, well, Andre thinks Brian can throw a good 15 yards deeper now. I didn't believe it until I saw what he benched.
The credits song is terrible.
I don't recall.
That was
the
bad.
Song.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Is
when
it
they're
like
showing all those NFL teams and stuff like that.
It's bad.
It was bad.
Oh, it's butt rock.
Skin in your teeth and a blade in your back. What you know about hope? What you know about that?
It's like an NFL executive. You know, my nephew does music. You should have him do it. I would do a sequel, just to see how that draft went.
We want to see how it went.
Yeah.
Cut to, they went 0-16. He's been fired. He's on NFL Network now.
Ellen Burstyn is now the GM.
Did you work in your vulgar tongue words?
Nope.
No, didn't even try.
Forgot.
I worked mine in and you didn't call me on it.
What was it?
Fusty lugs.
You said fusty lugs?
I did. Fusty lugs around, right?
Mm.
I said fusty lugs.
I missed that entirely.
I worked that in. You didn't notice. So I win.
My word was proud, which in this book means horny.
That should have been easy.
How did you not work that word?
I forgot. I completely forgot. I forgot about it.
Easiest possible thing.
Sorry.
What was your word?
Bubbly jock.
Bubbly jock. What's a bubbly jock?
A turkey cock.
What is that? Like literally a turkey's
I think
cock.
so, yeah. Do you remember that game against Seahawks where it was just flooding the stadium?
Yeah.
We watched it on a little black and white radio TV.
What year was that? My dad was there.
It was 94, 95.
My dad was at that game.
Might be 97.
It was a Thursday night game, I think.
No, it was a Sunday night game.
I know it was a night game.
Yeah, because they had school the
game
next
for
day.
sure.
Yeah, Sunday night.
Well, you would have had school the next day if it was
That's
a Thursday
fair.
night game. I didn't go to school on Fridays ever. So.
No, fuck Fridays.
If only.
Which team did the Chiefs run 8 touchdowns against? And then who ran those touchdowns?
It was the Falcons. And it was Priest Holmes and Derek Blaylock.
Fuck you, man.
You know Dennis Leary only has one N in Dennis?
Yeah.
Denis.
Denis Leary.
Denis is French. Ellen Burstyn, you naughty minx.
Listen, I'm going to defend P. Diddy here.
You should get it all.
Not really, no.
You pancake eating motherfucker.
Virginia Sex Toy Company. Teabaggers. I was so drunk at the game, the Colt fans walking. I was like, Peyton Manning!
Bye, Allie.
We're stepping on my dick all day. Look, we'll...
The Patriots head coach and Nick Caserio.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
People pay to get wet.
Little 8% Cody never hurt anybody.
And his ability to suck in these balls.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Come on, Tom, say it with me, you pancake-eating motherfucker.